All right. I think we are live here. Welcome, everybody, to my weekly Sunday live stream. I'm actually in Columbus, Ohio, here today for today's live stream. Came up here on Friday, so I've had the weekend off, and it's been the first weekend I've had off in quite some time now at this point. And just came up to see the family and just hanging out up here in Columbus. I've been having a great trip so far. It's not too far away from Nashville, which is cool. It's only about like 6 hours or so, something like this. So really not too bad. But yeah, it's just been a great weekend. I'm up here because I'm selling some instruments to a great supporter of mine and a great guitar player. He lives here in the area, and I'm just up here spending some time with the family and just hanging out. I found a really cool matchless DC-30, which is really killer. It's a Samson era DC-30, and I sold one. I've had probably three or four of those over the years now. At this point, the '90s matchless Samson era DC-30s I'm talking about in particular, and those are different, by the way, compared to the new ones. I've played a lot of newer ones, and they don't sound the same to me, man. The '90s ones, when Samson was making them, I mean, he just spared no expense, man, at making those. And this amp, I think it is hands down the best matchless I have ever heard. I mean, like I was saying, I've owned like three or four of them now at this point, and I got to tell you guys, I mean, this thing just sounded. It sounds so good. I mean, I plugged it up before I bought it, and man, just playing through it, I was like, God damn, does that thing sound good, man? I mean, and I think I'm gonna hang on to this one. I suppose. Never say never. I could sell it. But it just would have to be the right price. So um, but that said, I mean, man, this thing is just amazing sounding. So I think I'm going to hang on to it. And I really kind of regretted selling my other ones. I used to have a black one, and then I had a red Tolex one that literally sold in a day in Nashville. And I'm just really lucky to have this one. This one's really cool. It's like a gray Tolex. And what's cool is that the Matchless logo actually lights up on those amps. And what's cool with those is that normally it'll light up like a gold, like the logo will light up in like a yellow or like a gold light. This one is actually a white light, which matches the gray Tolex. So it's just a really cool thing with that. But definitely different. And I really love the way that it looks, and but more importantly, the way it sounds. It's just magic. And with those matchlesses, man, it's all about those speakers too. The speakers that he had in those that he designed, I mean, are just absolutely amazing for that amp, man. They just sound so good, and really lucky to have it. I mean, it's heavy as all hell. I mean, those DC-30s, man, especially in a road case, I mean, they are outrageously heavy, but man, oh man, do they sound good. But let's see here. Hopefully everything sounds and looks okay. I'm just on my iPhone here. I'm not in my home studio with all the cameras and the lights and everything and all the pro audio and stuff. But let's see. We've got Keith in the house. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, Justin, hi. What's going on, man? Great to see you. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, I'm just hanging out here in Columbus, and it's my first weekend off in a very long time. So it's been nice to just kind of catch up with the folks and hang out for a bit. And I'm going to head back down to Nashville tomorrow. So I've got a really busy week coming up again with more gigs, and I'm playing out on the road on the weekend. And the next few weeks for me are going to be nuts. I'm playing in town a bunch, I'm teaching a bunch, and then I'm playing in Georgia this next weekend. And then I'm playing in North Carolina the following weekend, and then the next week I'm actually going to be out in Arizona for the entire week. So really excited about that. Really looking forward to that Arizona trip. That's going to be really awesome. Doing a bunch of gigs out there, and it's just a really nice time of year to go out there. I did this run last year actually out there in Arizona, and man, it's just like the perfect time of year to go out there. It's not crazy hot like it is in July, and there's just no humidity out there, so it's just beautiful. And Arizona in general is just really beautiful. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, the next like 2 3 weeks, man, are gonna be pretty nuts for sure. So I'm just soaking up some family time and just kind of hanging out and chilling out here. But I just can't help myself. I have to take a look at the local marketplace and see what all is out there. And I ended up finding a Samson era DC30. So really cool amp, sounds killer. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I realize I haven't been posting as many videos as I have been in the past. It just, again, it's very hard to juggle all this stuff. I mean, with doing YouTube and learning music and traveling and doing everything that I do. So apologize about that, but I wanted to do the Sunday live stream, and I realize it's not my usual production for these, but it still works with the iPhone. And it was funny, man. The other day, I actually did a live stream from the Tone Garage in Nashville there at my house there. And man, I was just changing the strings on my Telecaster, and I had the biggest crowd I ever had. And that was all done on my iPhone. So I was like, well, it obviously works. So people seem to like it for sure. But really appreciate everybody watching the video too that I did on the reissue Les Pauls. Um, I got a lot of comments and a lot of feedback from that video, and it just did really well. And man, I think a lot of people are not aware of how off those 59 Les Pauls are. The quote unquote 59 Les Pauls, the reissues, that is. It's just funny, I got a lot of comments and a lot of people that just simply don't know what they're talking about. They've never, messed with this stuff. They don't know what they're talking about, like literally at all, so it's just really entertaining. So if you want a good laugh, go to the comment section and go read some of those comments, because there's a lot of dumbasses on there for sure that just have no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, it's just funny with those instruments, because they call them a 59, quote unquote, but basically everything about it is completely wrong. I mean, there's literally almost nothing about it that makes it a 59. The only thing that I would say that makes it a quote unquote 59 is the neck profile. But even the neck profile, you could also argue that it's not 100%. And that's kind of the thing I wanted to talk about in today's live stream, is that with all of these neck profiles, it really depends on how the neck is shaped, and especially the transition from the neck into the fretboard. Depending on that transition and how it goes into the fretboard, that is really going to change the way that the neck feels and how thick it is. And it's really funny, because there's a lot of people that will talk about the 335s, especially the pre 65 335s. They're all a little bit different. Like some people will like the 59 the 59 neck profile, or the 60 or the 61, right? In 60 and 61, they're a little bit slimmer, but the thing is that is funny is, like, the other day I was comparing a real 59 335 to my 61 335, and honestly, the necks almost feel identical. I mean, it is not that big of a deal, man. I mean, that 61 neck profile is not that slim, and I think that there's so many people that just way overhype these neck profiles. I mean, now, on every instrument, the neck profiles are a little bit different. On a 335, in general, in my opinion, it is a little bit slimmer in general compared to, say, a Les Paul, right? And so, even to say that this is a 59 neck profile, I mean, what are you really going off of, right? Because every single instrument is completely different. That neck profile, they're all handmade, they're all shaped just a little bit different, and that's what I noticed the other day. When I was playing this 59 335, I couldn't believe how similar it felt to the 61 335 that I have. Because there's so many people that will say, like, oh man, the 61 neck profile is so slim and this and that. And it's like, no, it's not, man. It is not that thin, man. I mean, it's very similar to how a 59 feels. Of course, it depends, depending on the instrument, it's kind of a case by case basis, but they're all a little bit different. But I think, especially on a 335, and I've played tons of them now at this point, I mean, it is not that big of a deal with this 59 neck profile. And I think even in general with a lot of the reissue instruments, they really get this neck profile wrong. And again, so much of it comes down to how they are transitioning from the neck to the board. Depending on that transition, that neck is going to feel completely different. And, the thickness of the neck will be totally different to the touch. And there's kind of ways around it. Like I remember I had this TV Yellow Les Paul special that was an amazing guitar, man. I absolutely loved it. And it was a 60, so it was like a slimmer neck, but it wasn't that thin, and it is not that thin in general. I've owned several 60 and 61 Gibson instruments, and some people just way overhype it and way over exaggerate um, these neck profiles and how thin that they are. They're not that thin, but there's ways around it. If it is a little bit of a thinner neck, you could just simply refret the guitar with a little bit of bigger frets, maybe something with a little bit more height. And that will really change the way that that feels as well. Yeah, sure, it may be a thinner neck, but if you put on some bigger frets, you can kind of compensate for that. And it feels very similar to something with a bigger neck, quote unquote. But honestly, with a lot of these reissue instruments, I mean, um, they just really don't get the neck profile right. I mean, on a lot of those. So I think it just really depends on what instrument that they are profiling in particular, because every single one of these instruments are going to be different. The neck shape, the neck profile, they're all handmade. They're all a little bit different. So um, even with that, with these 59 Les Paul, the reissues, that is, um, I just feel that the neck profile is just not correct on a lot of them. That's another thing. So basically, everything with those 59 Les Pauls, the reissues, are incorrect. I mean, from the material to the on the ABR to the thumb wheel to the studs for the stop bar itself. The pots and the caps are different as well, and even the material for the pick guard is different. I mean, literally almost everything about it is completely different. This is wild. But yeah, folks, again, if you guys have any questions for me, it looks like we have a little bit of a smaller crowd here today. So it's all good. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on here for, but I just wanted to go live and hang out with you guys for a bit and shoot the shit for a little bit and talk some guitars and answer some questions if you guys have anything. If you guys would like to support me in this channel, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me in this channel. I offer one-on-one online lessons, and it's all shot on a 4K camera with pro audio, and it's all done from my home studio. And what's so cool with these lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself, so you could simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want, so you could really retain the information and just go back over it as many times as you want, so that you don't forget what happened during the lesson. So I personally think it is a better thing in comparison to actually doing a lesson in person, because you actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself. So hit me up if you're interested in that. That is my personal email that I have linked down below. It's just jkm4231@gmail.com. And I've also got several other links down there as well. If you guys want to throw a little love in the PayPal tip jar or the Venmo tip jar or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support again is always really, really appreciated. And, I cannot do this stuff without you guys. So I'm really thankful to everybody out there that supports me, that contributes to my lesson program, and everybody that contributes to the tips and everything. It really makes a tremendous difference for me in my life. And, I cannot do this without you guys. So, again, thank you for that. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. Um, I'm just hanging out here. I realize this is a little bit different than what I where I'm normally at for these live streams. I'm normally from my home studio in Nashville, but I'm just up here in Columbus actually, and I was just visiting family for the weekend. My first weekend off I've had in quite some time now at this point, so it's just been nice to just kind of chill out and hang out for a bit and um, catch up with the folks and stuff, and just kind of hang out here for a little bit. I'm gonna watch some NFL here in a little bit. So again, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna keep going for, but once again, I just thought I would go live and hang out with you guys for a little bit. So Ah, man. By the way, if you're in Columbus, Ohio area, you gotta stop at this place called Five Bean Coffee, man. Hopefully y'all can see that. But this place, Five Bean Coffee, man, it's some of the best coffee I've ever had across the entire country. They make these frozen drinks that are just absolutely incredible. The one that I really like is called the White Mocha, and I'm just drinking coffee here today. But man, I tell you, these drinks are so good there, man. They're just unbelievable. I think about it all the time. I'm like, man, if they had one of these down in Nashville, man, they would just crush. It would do so well down there. I mean, I swear, I think it's some of the best coffee I've ever had. I mean, and those frozen drinks are just outrageously good. So if you're ever in the Columbus, Ohio area, go and check them out, man. Five Bean Coffee, really, really good. But yeah, folks, I'm just up here in Columbus. I'm hanging out and actually selling off some instruments. And the other day, I picked up a matchless DC-30, which is really cool. It's a Samson era that is like in mint condition. I mean, it has all of the paperwork, all of the the tubes, literally everything is completely original with it, man. It's just absolutely perfect. And those 90s matchlesses, man, the DC-30, the HC-30, they are just amazing sounding. I've owned probably three or four of them now at this point, and I've always sold them off, but I always regret it every time. So then I go and buy another one, and then I just get this hairball idea to go and sell it again, and then I'm like, oh, why the hell did I do that? So I'm gonna try to hang on to this one. I mean, unless somebody offers me, a good amount of money for it, I guess I would consider selling it. But I just love those amps, and man, when you combine a DC-30 with a Telecaster, it is just a magical, magical combination. But let's see here. We got a couple more comments here. We've got Blues Are Us. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, love your Plexi slash Marshall cab. Are you in the market for anything else? Man, I'm always kind of shopping around, man. I would like to get a great Tweed Deluxe. Um, that would be really cool. I definitely would like to get one of those, but I just haven't really found anything yet that really jumps out. For me, it's got to have the original Transformers, and the stuff just really has to be right and original, and especially the speaker. That's another big thing to me, because that's a huge part of the tone. Obviously, the Transformers are everything, and the speaker as well is a really big part of that Tweed Deluxe sound. So I'm still on the hunt, looking around for one of those. And I know that there's some out there, but some of the prices are just absolutely ridiculous in what people are asking. Like, I'm not going to pay 10 grand for a Tweed Deluxe, man. That's just silly. It's just totally silly. So I'm kind of on the hunt for one of those, man. But really, other than that, I'm trying to think, man. I mean, I'm always buying instruments, I have a lot of people that hit me up that they have stuff available for sale, but I'm really particular, with the stuff that I buy. I mean, for me, if it's a 335, it's got to be pre 65. I'm just not willing to buy a 66 or a late 60s or a 70s 335 because I just feel that that instrument is completely different in comparison to the pre 65 instruments. They're just not the same at all. And with these vintage 335s, like there's just no instrument like them. I mean, the reissues are not the same. The neck profile is not correct on a lot of those. The way that it feels, the pickups, the material for the ABR, material for the studs, the thumb wheels. I mean, literally, like all of this stuff is completely incorrect with these reissues. So, um, it's just kind of one of those things. Like the reissue is a completely different instrument, but yeah, I mean, I'm always buying instruments, man. I'm always looking around for pre 65 335s. I mean, a 64 SG I love, which I just got one recently, which is really cool. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what else, man. I think really just a Tweed Deluxe for me right now is what I'm kind of after. So I just bought that matchless, which is cool. I'm gonna try to hang on to that this time, but I just have so many people that want those amps, so they hit me up constantly. Like, hey man, if you ever find a matchless DC30, let me know. I'll buy it. So I'm gonna try to hang on to this one, but I don't know. We'll see. It's just really difficult for me to afford a lot of this stuff, man, because the stuff has gotten so expensive. But yeah, speaking of that Plexi and that Marshall cabinet, that Plexi, it's a 68 super lead 100 watt, and I love that thing, man. It's completely original with the original transformers. And then the Marshall cabinet is actually a 68 pinstripe cabinet, which is super rare, man. Those pinstripe cabinets are really, really difficult and very hard to find. I mean, I've been doing this collecting for, I mean, basically since I got started playing about, 20 years ago, and I have literally never seen those pinstripe cabinets. I had two 212 pinstripe cabinets as well that they call the column cabinets. Those were from '66 actually, but I've since sold those. Those are spoken for. I'm actually selling those tomorrow, which is why I'm up here in Columbus right now. I'm selling off some gear, but I have literally never seen those ever in the entire time that I've been doing this. They are so difficult to find, but man, oh man, do they sound great. And actually, those are the cabinets that Jimi Hendrix used to use. He used to use the 412s, the pinstripes. So it's a really cool thing with those. And man, it's just a magical combination, man. I mean, those old Marshall cabinets, if you haven't seen my video that I made talking about the difference that a speaker cabinet can make in your overall guitar sound, go and check that out, man, because it's really important. A lot of people think that like a new tube head or, you know, whatever, a new pedal or something is really going to make that much of a difference in their sound. And the reality is that it's really not going to. I mean, there's really only three amp tones out there, right? You have the Marshall, you have the Vox, and then you have a Fender. And that's really it, man. You know what I mean? It's there's not really a lot of different guitar tones, but the biggest thing is the speakers and the cabinet, the way that the cabinet, the particular material that they use, the cloth itself definitely makes a huge difference in the overall guitar sound because the cloth is basically like a filter, on the overall guitar sound. And then in turn, if you're miking it up, that's what the microphone is hearing. It's hearing all of this stuff. So it makes a tremendous difference for sure. But let's see. We have DH in the house. Hey, DH, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hey, Justin, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, man. Let's see. Blues R Us says here, the pinstripe grill cloth is the best grill cloth they ever made. Two Rock is starting to use that for an upgrade. That's cool. Yeah, I totally agree, man. I think the pinstripe is hands down, it is the best for sure. I mean, tonally, I think it looks badass. Like just literally everything about it, man. I think it's incredible, and that's why, man, when I found those, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy all of them, because what it was is there was a 412 and then there was two column cabinets, these two 212s, which I'm probably gonna regret selling those 212s, but they were not cheap. So again, it's hard for me to afford all this stuff, so that's why I just have to sell it. So I'm keeping the 412, but man, that combination with the super lead and that 412, it's just the sound, man. It's just incredible. It's the best rock guitar sound I've ever heard, ever. So really cool. And it's all original to the original speakers, original cloth, there's no modifications or anything. I mean, it's just really, really nice stuff. The 212s that I had two holes in them that I don't know if they just moved like the speaker jack or something, or if they tried to just add an extra port to the cabinet or something. I don't really know what the thinking was there, but other than that, everything else is totally original with it. The original speakers, it's got the original cloth, all that stuff. So they sound so good. And the one had a handle that just like, it's not great. It just kind of blew off the cabinet. But that's an easy fix, so not a big deal. But yeah, those are really cool. And like I was saying, I just got this matchless, which is really cool. So that's a great Vox amp. And really, in my opinion, I actually prefer those over the 60s Vox amps, because the 60s Vox amps, like, they're just so unreliable. And I mean, there's actually some out there that will catch fire, which is kind of crazy. So you really got to be careful with some of those, man. I mean, they are really that unreliable. So I just don't really like to mess with those. And I would much rather have a matchless DC-30 from the 90s. I think between that and even the 90s era of Vox, they made some really cool stuff too. But I'm telling you, man, I think the matchless, that DC-30, it's the greatest Vox amp I've ever heard for sure. And I think it has a lot to do with the speakers that are in it. They're particularly voiced for the matchless amp and for this sound, and they're just magical, man. I mean, that with the Telecaster, it's just an incredible guitar tone. So I just love it. But yeah, really for amps, man, I think I'm set besides just a Tweed Deluxe. I think, I've got the 68 Marshall, I've got the Pinstripe. I even have another 68, 69. It's kind of like right on the edge there. It's a basket weave 412 as well, which is cool. That's got the 30s in them. But, I would like to sell that, but I don't know. I do like the way that cabinet sounds, it's really good. So I don't know. I'll probably just hang on to it. But I think I'm really good on amps. The instruments I feel really good on too. I've got a 61 335. I've got a 66 Telecaster blonde with the rosewood board, which I really prefer for a Telecaster. And then what else do I have? I have that 64 Strat. I have a 64 SG, 64 Hummingbird, and then I've got a set of reissue instruments that I just take out on the road and take out for gigs and stuff. And I'm probably leaving something out, but I'm spacing out on what else did I have. I think that's really it for the vintage stuff right now. But I just feel really good with my instruments. I mean, everything is set up perfectly. I know exactly how it's set up. It's perfectly intonated. Like everything feels really good. And I just know all of those instruments and how they play, so that's a big deal to me. I don't really want to have a lot of instruments because, it just takes a lot of tweaking and a lot of back and forth with these instruments. It takes time to really get these things totally perfect, So that's why for me, I don't really like to have a lot of instruments, to be honest. But I like to have all of the different colors and all the different tones and stuff. 335 is much different from a Telecaster. Telecaster is different from a Les Paul. Like all of this stuff, it makes a huge difference. So having all this stuff, and really just depends on the music and what I'm playing, as far as what instrument that I go for. So, and what I'm hearing in my head. So that's a big thing. But yeah, there's that there. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I don't know how long I'm going to go for here today. I want to watch some football and kind of hang out and just chill out for today. But I figured that I would just go live here and hang out with you guys for a little bit. I know that I normally do these Sunday live streams. It can just be kind of hard sometimes with my schedule, just because I'm out on the road so much normally. This next couple weeks are going to be pretty intense for me because I'm going to be traveling a lot and I'm playing a ton. This is like the first weekend I've had off in I don't know how long. It's been a really, really long time. So it really feels good, to be honest with you. But I'm excited though. I mean, the next few weeks I'm playing in town there in Nashville a bunch, and then I'll be out on the road. I'm playing in Georgia next weekend. I'm playing in North Carolina the weekend after that. And then the week after that, I'll be in Arizona for the entire week. I've got a bunch of gigs out there. We're doing a whole run out there, and should be really cool. I'm really, really excited about that. I love it out west there, man. I love Arizona. It's beautiful. So really excited about that, and should be a nice time of year out there. Not too crazy hot, so that'd be fun. But yeah, once again, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. If you guys would like to support me in this channel, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me. If you guys want to sign up for online lessons, I offer this, and It's all really professionally done. It's all shot on a 4K camera. It's all pro audio as well. And again, what is so cool with these lessons is that you actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So if you are interested in this, hit me up at jkm4231 at gmail.com. That is my personal email. So just send me an email and I'd be happy to get you down in the books today. Um, Also, check out all of the other links that I have. If you guys want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even throw a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really appreciated. And it really helps me out a lot with making these videos and doing this YouTube stuff, because to be honest with you, I barely make anything by making these videos. So any and all support is really appreciated. If you guys want to throw just a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar or whatever, again, any and all support is really appreciated. And always really look forward to doing these live streams, but it truly is a donation of time. I mean, I don't make anything on this. So again, any and all support is really, really appreciated. So, but yeah, check out all the other links I've got down there. I gave Sweetwater Music my top gear picks as well. And if you guys are already looking to make a purchase, if you're looking to buy a Fender Deluxe Reverb or a Noble's ODR1 or maybe a mic preamp or something, um, this is just a really cool way to support me, because all you have to do is just click the link down below, and I just get a small little commission off the sale. It doesn't cost anything extra whatsoever. It just I just get a small like little percentage on the actual sale on Sweetwater there. So if you guys are looking to buy some kind of gear, go and check that out. But let's see here. It looks like we've got a great big super chat here. Let's see. I'm gonna try to pull this up here on my phone. Of course, I can't see it. Here we go. I think I'm gonna be able to do this. Let's see. Sorry about this, folks. I'm on my iPhone here, so it's a little bit difficult to pull this up on this. But it looks like we've got a $50 super chat here from Soft Southern Night. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you, man. That's so kind, man. That's so nice. Great big $50 super chat, man. And he says here, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weekend as well, man. Thank you, man. Seriously, that means so much to me. And without folks like yourself, man, I cannot continue to do this. So I'm forever thankful to guys like yourself, man, and everybody else that supports me. So again, thank you so much, man. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. That really means the world to me. Thank you, man. Seriously, that is super kind. Let's see. I'm trying to pull this chat box up here, but I can't really see the comments on here. Sorry, folks. It's just difficult doing this on my iPhone, man. It's really hard to see all this. It's not even letting me scroll down here. I They really got to fix this, so that it's a lot easier to see this. Um, Man, I don't even know how I can see the comments on this, because I can't even see y'all's questions now. That's weird. Technology, man. I'm not so good with it. Let me see if I can change the layout here, if that makes any difference. Yeah, I don't know this one, folks. I don't know how I'm going to be able to figure out this one. I apologize. I'm not able to see y'all's comments on here for whatever reason. Maybe if I could show it on the stage here, maybe that'll help. That's weird, man. They need to figure this out for sure with the mobile, with the iPhone. But oh well. But again, thank you so much, Soft Side of the Night. Seriously, man, really do appreciate that. That really helps me out a lot with these videos. And if you guys would like to support me in this channel, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. If you guys would like to throw a super chat like Soft Southern Night did, or if you guys would like to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar, any and all support is really, really appreciated there. Because these live streams truly are a donation of time. Um, Man, I don't know how I can pull up these comments. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not sure how I can do this here because I can't see it on the phone. Um, I really apologize about this, guys. I don't know what happened. It just like froze up here. So, oh well. But yeah, for those that are just joining me here, I realize I'm in a different location here. I'm up here in Columbus, Ohio, and I was just visiting some family, and I am selling off some gear as well to a fan of mine, a supporter, and a great guitar player. He lives here in the area, and we're just doing a deal here. So I just don't feel good about shipping stuff. When it comes to a vintage guitar or these vintage amplifiers and stuff, I just don't feel good about shipping the stuff, man. And people at UPS or FedEx, they throw the stuff around, and they just don't care about this stuff. And I just would be devastated, if something happened to the gear during shipping or something. So I just personally drive it up here, and it's not really that far of a drive. It's only like 6 hours, so it's really not bad, and works out pretty well actually because my family's still here in Columbus, so I'm able to hang out here for a bit and catch up with them. And this is my first weekend off in a really long time now at this point, so it's just been nice to get some family time in and just hang out with the folks here and just kind of come back home for a little bit. So it's been cool. I got a really busy couple weeks coming up here, like I was talking about. I've got a bunch of stuff in town going on, and I'll be out in Georgia this next coming weekend. The following weekend, I'll be in North Carolina, and then the following week, I'll be out in Arizona. So I'll be out there for the entire week. So I'm really excited about that, and it's just going to be really chaotic, just really busy with gigs. So excited about that. It's good to be busy, and it's good to be playing music and getting out there. So I'm definitely stoked with that. But while I was up here in Columbus, I happened to find a matchless DC-30 that is just to die for, man. It's so good. And for those that are just joining, I've talked about it a couple times here already in today's live stream. But for those that are just joining, I'll mention it here. I've owned like probably three or four of those DC-30s over the years, and man, I love them, man. They sound so good. But this one in particular, I think it is hands down my favorite one by far. I've had three or four of them, and I always decide to sell them, and then I always regret it. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy another one, and then I'll get a hairball idea, and I'll go and sell it again, and I just regret it every single time. So I'm gonna try to hold on to this one. As of right now, I'm keeping it. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna sell it, but who knows? I'll probably end up selling it. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just keep it. I don't know. I just get these hairball ideas sometimes, and it's just difficult. It's hard for me to afford all of this stuff. So sometimes I have to just kind of keep stuff in rotation, and just kind of move stuff along. So that's what's hard with the gear, man. The stuff has gotten so expensive nowadays. It's unbelievable. I mean, the prices of just everything have gone up so much, man. It's incredible. I mean, vintage Gibsons, Fenders, I mean, amps, old like Princeton reverbs or deluxe reverbs. I mean, man, they're just up so much now. It's just unbelievable. So pretty crazy. But let's see. I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to pull up the comments, but it's just not working at all. And I'm scared if I refresh my phone here, I don't know if I'll lose y'all on the live stream here. Because it's just like literally frozen up. I guess I could just try it. Let's see. Hold on a second, folks. I'm gonna try this out. Here we go. Okay, I think this actually worked. Let's see. Oh man, it looks like it did some kind of comments. I don't know what the hell happened there. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I'm on my iPhone, man, so it's really kind of hard to read some of this stuff. And when I got that super chat, I think it just kind of froze up the comment section. Let's see. Don't fret, it says here testing 1 2 3. Yeah, man. And we've got CZ in the house. What's going on, CZ? Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the delay with reading these comments, man. The iPhone just like froze up, man. That was weird. I've never experienced that before. But let's see here. We've got MarshTube in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says hello. And he asks here, you still own your Jubilee? No, man, I don't anymore. I love that amp, though. That's another great amp. I had to get rid of that to get my 335. I had to get rid of so much stuff. I have, man, I had to get rid of so much gear to swing that guitar, man, because it was just so expensive. And I definitely miss that amp, man, a lot. That's a really solid amp, man. The 50 watts and the 100 watts are great, man. And in my opinion, that's kind of like the last best Marshall that they made, to be honest. The DSL, I think, can be kind of a cool amp. I just don't really like the modern voicing that it has. It's kind of like this mid-scooped kind of thing. And if you run that amp into the right cabinet with the right speakers, you can get it to sound pretty good. But the Jubilee in general, man, it'll work with any speaker combination. It'll work with any cabinet. I love the way that amp sounds, man. I think it's phenomenal. It's really, really good for like the 80s kind of hard rock kind of guitar sound. But I know even Joe Bonamassa uses those too, man. I mean, when I went to his sound check, I was checking out his setup and stuff, and I mean, he's got, I think, like four of them, if I remember right. He's got like four Jubilees. He's got two silvers and then two black ones. And, he gets great tones off of those, man. They sound great. I mean, I think the preamp in general, like he was saying, the preamp section in general on that amp is just phenomenal. It's really good. So you can kind of dial the game back on those a little bit and get more of kind of a bluesy thing like Joe does. And they sound great. So really, really flexible. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I apologize about the delay in reading these comments. My phone just like froze up. So I've never experienced that before. And I wasn't sure if I refreshed it or not, would I lose the live stream? But it definitely worked. So that's a lesson learned with this. But let's see. Don't Fret It here says, how did the eights work out on your telly? Man, it worked out great, man. I'm really liking it. Um, I have made that change on several instruments now at this point, and I play so much that sometimes playing with the tens can just be a little bit too much. Like I normally will play 3 to 6 gigs a week, so I kind of wanted to go down, man, and not work as hard with bending the strings and, just crushing my fingers. I mean, if I was doing like one offs or just a couple gigs here and there, the tens wouldn't bother me as much. But man, I just really wanted to change it up, man, because I've just been killing my fingers. Like, I'll do acoustic duo gigs as well. And even on acoustics, man, I've went down to thinner strings as well because I just was killing my fingers, man, because I again play so much. And I've got to say, man, I really like the eights, man. I think that's a big part of the sound too. Um, with having these 8 gauge strings, it's a much thinner gauge string, and that into like a high gain Marshall or something, man, it is a sound for sure. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook as well. A lot of people just use tens or whatever, but man, if you change up the string gauge for sure, it will change the tone, man, for sure. And it's definitely something to experiment with, and I've been really happy with it. When I was learning to play, actually, right here in this bedroom where I'm coming to you live from right now, man, I used to practice and play all the time up here, man. This is really where I worked everything out as a player, when I got started. But when I was trying to find my sound and stuff, but like, man, I always used thinner strings. I always used like nines or eights or whatever, and that's always what I liked. And then when I moved to Nashville, I went to tens, because it was like, oh, well, this is kind of like the sound. And, it does feel good for me with the Les Pauls. And, it's definitely more of the Nashville vibe to have the tens on there, for tone. But honestly, man, I really like the thin strings, man, for sure. It's really been great. So thanks for the question. I appreciate it. But yeah, folks, once again, if you guys would like to support me, man, you guys would like to, throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, like Soft Southern Night did. And again, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you so much, man. That really makes a huge difference for me. And because again, with these videos, I don't make very much of anything on this. It's really a labor of love. It's a donation of time, to be completely honest with you. So, I really need y'all's support. So if you guys can support me, I really would appreciate it. I offer online lessons, so check out that as well. It's all shot on a 4K camera with pro audio. And again, what is so cool with those lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the end. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So for more info on that hit me up at jkm4231@gmail.com, and check out all of the other links that I have down below in the description in the box there, description box there. Tripping up on my words. Let's see here. Blues R Us says here, I'm trying to scale down the pedal board. It's starting to become a distraction. I just want to play music. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Totally agree. What is the least amount of pedals you could get by for a gig? Man, that's a really great comment, man. Thank you for that, man. That's excellent. I totally agree with you, man. For me as a player, I like to have a really simple pedal board setup. I really don't want to go any bigger than a pedal train one size pedal board, which is about 22 inches wide. And I believe it's like 12 and a half tall, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. But I've had that pedal train one for years now at this point, and it just works, man. It's all of the effects you could ever want, and all of the sounds that I ever need for any kind of gig, man. So that's how I designed that board. And for me, I like to have two pedal boards. I like to have one that is like a fully featured pedal board that I can really get any kind of tone or any kind of sound that I want. And then I also like to have a really small pedal board. And so the question here is, what is the least amount of pedals you could get by for a gig? Man, honestly, I don't need very much, man. Really, if I just have a tuner, some kind of a drive section, I normally like to have like a overdrive and a boost going into the drive just to get a little bit more gain. Just because sometimes I might be a little bit tired that night that I'm playing or whatever, and I don't know, I just feel like I need a little bit more gain, or my ears are a little bit tired, my fingers are just a little bit tired, so I may need just a little bit more. And for me, I always like to have somewhere to go with the dynamic and the amount of gain that I play with, rather than just having one overdrive pedal that just does that one sound the whole time. So that's what I like. So I normally like to use like an RC booster before the Lightspeed by Greer Amps. I love that pedal. And then I definitely need an EQ as well, just for my solos and stuff. Or in general, if I'm playing like a backline amp, like maybe if I'm plugged up into a twin reverb, I can at least try to re EQ the sound a little bit so that the drives sound better. And I like to use the EQ after the drive pedal, because the EQ is so much more powerful in that position rather than it being before the drive pedal. If you run it before the drive pedal, it's not going to really do very much. And that's why for that, I like the RC boost, because it's a very simple two band EQ. You have a bass and a treble, and then you have volume and gain, and that's it. And for me, I just like to tweak the low end of the EQ of the drive just a little bit with the RC boost, and then the GE7 that is after the drive pedal, that really shapes the guitar sound, really shapes the tone, completely changes it. And normally I like to just use the EQ as a solo boost, so I'll just add a little bit of mid range, like a little bit of 800 and 1.6K normally, and that's it. Literally everything else is totally flat, and it's all BS, by the way. With that GE7, you do not have to get those modified, man. Just find one that is a new stock GE7, and that's it, man. It works great, man. I really like the frequency ranges that they have on those. There's some mods out there that are just mid-range only, which I don't really like that, man. I like to be able to tweak the low end, the mid-range, and the high end. So for me, the stock GE7 is absolutely perfect. It's spot on. Um, and then really just from there, man, just a delay. And that's it. That's all I need for the majority of gigs out of Nashville. Now, every now and then, there are some gigs and some music that I'll be playing where I have to, um, have a rotary, or I need a reverse delay or a dotted eighth delay or something like this. So I like to have a Line 6 HX1 pedal for that, just in case if I need some kind of specialty effect. Like I was just saying, maybe it's a reverse delay, maybe it's a dotted eighth delay, maybe it's a chorus, maybe it's some kind of crazy modulation effect or something. But I don't need something like that all of the time. So that's how I like to use it. And that pedal board that I use that I was just talking about, that is all on a Pedal Train Nano Plus. And that's really all I need, man. It's just powered by a True Tone CS6, and it works great. I can plug into any backline amp and make it work. And especially now with my R9 being so modified, with the original wiring harness and the original pots, the caps, the pickups. I mean, all of this stuff that I have now, I really don't even need that much gain. I probably could get rid of the RC boost actually, because of how different that guitar sounds now with the old pickups and the old wiring harness there. So, really, I could probably get rid of the RC boost as well. So I could go even smaller and just have a tuner, a light speed, a GE7, and a delay, and that's it. So that's really all that I need. And that you're so right, man. That's such a great point with this too. Like you were saying here, it's starting to become a distraction. I just want to play music. I totally agree with that, man, because so many guys are so concerned about their pedal board and the pedals and stuff, and they forget about the playing, and they're so concerned with these pedals. It's like, man, it's not going to really make that much of a difference. Um, you got to work on your playing, man. You just got to play the music down. And that's for me when I'm playing live, I'm way more concerned about playing the parts right and performing to my audience rather than messing around with these guitar pedals. I don't really give a shit about these guitar pedals. Like it's not that big of a deal. Especially with that Nano Plus, I just leave the light speed on all the time, and when I go in for a solo, I'll kick on the GE7, and the delay I normally just leave on, but sometimes I'll turn it off if I need like a really tight stop and I don't want the delays to carry over on the stop with the band. Sometimes I'll click off the delay pedal, but other than that, man, that's really it. So I'm not even worried about the guitar pedals at all, man. I just focus in on playing, and it's so much more fun that way, man, rather than messing around with all these effect pedals. And a lot of the stuff nowadays, man, it honestly sounds like shit. To be honest with you, I mean, a lot of it sounds like shit. To just be honest, I mean, it totally makes sense. Like I've been modifying these reissue instruments lately, like I was just saying with that R9, and how I have an old wiring harness in there from '57 that's actually an original wiring harness from a '57 Gold Top Les Paul, which is crazy. But I have that in my R9 right now, and I have these old pickups, and it's just amazing how different that guitar sounds in comparison to the BS stock parts that were on that guitar. It makes so much sense why so many people feel the need that they need so much gain to play with, because of these new pots and the new caps and the new magnets, the new pickups. It's just not the same stuff, man. And the tones that I just hear from a lot of these reissue guitars, man, it's just garbage stuff, man. And it totally makes sense as to why people feel like they need so much gain, because of the new parts, man. It's because of their instruments. And again, like, people mess around so much with these pedals and all this bullshit, and it's all bullshit, man. Like, you got to mess around with your instrument. Think about that. Think about the parts that are in that guitar, man. And this stuff is just so off nowadays, man. It's just unbelievable. I mean, and especially with those R9s, man. Those guitars are just a disaster, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I like mine, man. It plays great, it stays in tune, it's a stable instrument, but it's really needed a lot of work, man. It's needed a lot of work, man. And for what they are charging nowadays for these Les Pauls, man, I just think it is just absolutely ridiculous that they're getting these prices on these guitars, man. This stuff is nothing like it used to be, man, at all. So, but anyways, it looks like I've been going here for about 55 minutes. Let's see. Blues R Us says here, great info. Thanks for your time. Thank you, man. Really appreciate the question, man. That was a great question. Excellent. But yeah, folks, if you guys feel like you got something out of today's live stream, if you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. If you guys want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, once again, any and all support is really appreciated. This is truly a donation of time. I literally make nothing on this whatsoever, and I need your guys' help to keep doing this. Without your support, I cannot do this. So if you guys are interested in supporting me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box there. I offer one-on-one online lessons. I have a Venmo and a PayPal tip jar, and I have the super chats here as well on YouTube. So again, if you guys would like to support me, like Soft Southern Night did with a very generous $50 super chat, I really do appreciate that. Again, man, thank you, man. I cannot do this without you, bro. So I really do appreciate that. But if you guys would like to contribute, check out all the stuff down below. Throw a little love in the Venmo, the PayPal, or a super chat here. So let's see. We have RC Cola in the house. Hey man, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, hi Justin, do you like using a compressor pedal or no, and why? Yes, I do like to use one. I have an old Ross compressor on my main pedal board that I use a lot. But I mainly use it just whenever I'm playing clean, or in the very rare case that I'm playing a solid state amp. Sometimes I'll get those freaking Tone Master like deluxe reverbs or whatever. And there's no tubes in that thing, and so I like to use a compressor just to kind of emulate what a tube amp would do, because those amps are very different in comparison to the tubed deluxe reverb. So sometimes I'll get those for backline and I'll use it for that, but other times I'll use the compressor just to, like, let's just say I'm going in for like a clean chicken pickin' lick or something like this, right? And I'm playing more of a 90s country kind of guitar sound with a Telecaster. I like to use a compressor for that just to get a little bit more out of the amp and just kind of even out everything with the chicken picking stuff, because I do that with my fingers, and whenever I'm playing with my fingers, I like compression. I like the way that it feels, and I like how it brings out a lot more of the subtleties from the chicken pick and playing, from my phrasing. So that's how I use that. And the Ross compressor that they made back in the day, in the 70s, there's nothing like them, man. They sound so good. And I just love that pedal, man. I mean, they've gone up in price a good bit, but there's nothing like them. I mean, there's a reason why all these companies try to recreate that pedal but fail. There's just nothing like them. So go and check those out. Let's see. Where the hell was I? Here we go. Sorry again, folks, about this comment section, man. I'm on my iPhone and it's so small, it's very hard to read. And earlier it actually got frozen up, so that was kind of bizarre. But let's see. Here I was. Richard is in the house. Hey, Richard, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, less gadgets and more practice. Got it. Yeah, man, 100%, man. Don't worry about the gear, man. Just work on your playing. Just play, keep getting better, and don't worry about the gear so much, man. The gear becomes a lot more fun when you can play really well. Train your ears. I mean, it's really amazing the students that I teach from all over the world, and how much better that they have gotten. And again, like, you think about how much money that some people spend on the gear, and it's like, man, they could spend just a very small fraction of what they spent on gear on lessons and really improve their musicianship, really improve their playing. I just will never understand that. Like, the gear is not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything, man. If you can't hear stuff, if you can't identify major keys, if you can't figure this stuff out with why these songs are the way they are, how they're written, what keys that these songs are in, it is not going to make a difference, man, what overdrive pedal or what, boost pedal you have. It just makes no difference. So it's all about the source, man, and it's all about the knowledge of actually being able to improvise something, to actually create something. A lot of people just don't spend the time to do that, and it just makes zero sense to me. I do not understand that whatsoever, nor will I ever. You know, when I was learning to play, man, I never really messed around with the gear, man. I had a Les Paul Studio that was, I think $1,200 or something like this. And I just played the shit out of that thing, man. I just practiced and practiced and practiced. And I never really messed with the gear, man. I was a lot more concerned about my vibrato. I was more concerned about my ears and, being able to figure out licks and understand why stuff works and why it doesn't. Like I was way more interested in that than the overdrive pedals. But I don't know, man. It's just gotten so crazy with people and how obsessed they are with the gear. And I just don't understand it, man. Never will. So it's really bizarre. But again, the gear becomes so much more fun when you actually know what the hell you're doing. The stuff sounds so much better. And Soft Southern Night here says no problem for the super chat. Thank you again, man. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. That really helps me out a lot. And let's see here. We have Ovi Vaughn in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hey, folks, hope you all are having a good day so far. Yeah, man, absolutely. Hope everybody's having a great day. And I know I am. I'm going to go watch some football here in a little bit and probably drink some beers and hang out for a bit. But yeah, I'm just up here in Columbus, Ohio right now. I'm visiting here for the weekend and just visiting some family here, and I'm actually selling off some gear to a fan of mine who's a great guitar player. He's a student of mine as well, and he's really improved a lot, man. And he actually lives in the area here, which is really cool. So he's buying my pinstripe Marshall cabinets, the 212s that is, and my 69/70 Les Paul Custom. So I'm selling that, and I just don't feel good about shipping vintage guitars or vintage amps and stuff. So I don't mind. I just drive it, and it works out pretty well because my family lives here in Columbus, so I can spend some time with them, and I can make sure that the gear is safe and sound and it's delivered and everything, rather than having UPS or FedEx, chuck it off of a truck and spike it, and then it gets all effed up. So I just would be devastated if something happens. So it's just a lot better. And this stuff is worth so much money nowadays. So and it's just so collectible. It's so rare. They're not making any more of this stuff. So I just would be devastated if something happened. So, but yeah, other than that, I think that is pretty much it. I mean, if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to ask in the chat box there. Again, if you guys would like to support this channel and support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. If you guys want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really appreciated. This is a donation of time, so I make literally nothing on this. So if you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links I have down below. I offer one-on-one online lessons, and I'm teaching people from all over the world, and it's all shot on a 4K camera with all pro video and pro audio. And again, what is amazing with these lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So for more information on this, hit me up at jkm4231@gmail.com. That is my personal email, and it's linked down below in the description box. And again, if you want to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, that's a huge help for me as well. And again, if you guys have any last minute questions for me, feel free to ask away there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. But for today, I'm going to go out and watch some football. The Bears are playing Detroit today, so I'm hoping that the Bears win. I was really sad about the game last week against the Vikings. I mean, I really thought they had them. It's like what the hell, man? And then in the last quarter, they just gave it away. So, really frustrating. I just feel it's always something with the Bears, man. They always F it up. There's always, it's just always something, man. Um, but still got to support them, and I'm going to go out and watch that game for sure. And yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. I've got this badass matchless DC-30, which I'm really excited about. That'll be an amazing amp for me there in Nashville. And I've owned like three or four of them, but I think this one is hands down the best one I've ever heard, that I've ever heard, I've ever had. So, really, really happy with that. But anyways, folks, I'll report back about next Sunday. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to do this next Sunday. I may have to find a different time to go live because I'm going to be playing in Georgia on Saturday. And I'll be most likely traveling back on Sunday, at some point. I don't know like what time and stuff that I'll be back home. So I don't know if I'll be able to do the same time. So maybe I'll go live on like Friday or something, or I don't know. I'll try to, I got to look at my schedule and see. But yeah, I'm just going to be playing a bunch in town there in Nashville this coming week. And I'm playing in Georgia this weekend. And then the next week, I have more stuff in town and teaching and stuff, as well as this week, too. I have a lot of teaching. But I'm also doing that following weekend in North Carolina. And then the week after that, I'm playing in Arizona for the entire week. So that should be pretty cool. But let's see here. We have 1002 Northeast in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? He has a question here. He says, where in Georgia are you playing? Also, crazy question. Do you know who the tour manager for Al Green is by any chance? Where in Georgia are you playing? So, it's a little north of Atlanta. It's a town called Tucker, I believe is what it is. I have to look at my schedule again, but I believe that is the town. And then the tour manager for Al Green, no, I don't know them, man. No, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, I think that is it for today, folks. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you again to Soft Southern Night for the super chat. I really do appreciate that, man. That really makes a huge difference. And if you yourself would like to support me once again, check out all of the links I have down below. Feel free to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar or a super chat here. And or check out my online lessons. If you want more information on this, just shoot me an email. My personal email is jkm4231@gmail.com. But that's all for today, folks. I really do appreciate it once again. We'll see you next week. Take care. Have fun, play music, and go have a great Sunday. Really do appreciate it once again. We'll see you all next time. Take care.